Hi, Taurus. Welcome to Pandora Astrology's monthly horoscope for May of 2021, which is your birthday month if you're a sun sign Taurus, and the sun is moving through your first house if you're a rising sign Taurus. So this is the time of year for new beginnings for you. It's the time when the spotlight is really on you, and it's the very best time to get a birthday reading so that you can know what the year is going to be about. And you'll find a link for that in the YouTube description below. Well, you may have noticed that somebody new is with us this month, and that would be Betsy Cardis. She is joining our practice, and very soon you'll be able to get readings with Betsy, and Betsy's going to be interpreting Venus today. But we're going to start with the moons. And I wanted to start with the moons because we're having an eclipse this month, but I'm not going to start with that because it's not the first moon that happens. We're going to start with the new moon in 21 degrees of Taurus, which is happening on the 11th. And right here it is in your first house. We're calling this one the Lotus in the Swamp because the moon in Taurus has such a feeling of peacefulness and groundedness and simplicity to it. It's just so wonderfully solid and tranquil. And this moon has a lovely trine to Pluto here in your ninth house of growth and expansion, of philosophy and travel, suggesting that transformations, deaths, and rebirths that you go through in that area of your belief system are going to funnel directly into a sense of inner peace for you personally this month. I think that's a lovely thing. Second moon is a lunar eclipse, and that is happening on May 26. And it falls in Sagittarius, which is your 8th house, bringing up again these themes of transformation, because that's Pluto's house. So a full moon is already a kind of a relational thing because the sun and the moon are opposite each other. So there's this feeling of polarity about it. And when the full moon is an eclipse, it becomes, it's a lunar eclipse. That's what we call that phenomenon because it's the moon that gets eclipsed. And it's often a very emotional time. It's a real stirring of the pot kind of thing. This one falling in your 8th house is probably going to run pretty deep. It's going to show up in your intimate relationships and the places where you share with others, even if that might seem not so intimate, it actually is. And I'm talking about things like debt and credit. So you may be having a lot of emotions about these things this month. Also, this is a releasing moon because the south node is what is near the eclipsed moon. And so, and because it's in Sagittarius, what you'll be releasing will be tied to your beliefs and your, maybe some cherished opinions that you've had that have actually been holding you back. And the introduction of a little bit of Gemini logic might be just what you need to dislodge those things. So, Julia, I think you've got some stuff for us about Mercury. Is that right?
I sure do, Jamie. Well, hey there, Taurus. I'll begin with Mercury, the planet that represents our mind. It has to do with communication as well as how we think. And for the first couple of days of the month, it's going to be in your first house, just the same way it has been last month too. The first house being the house of self. This was a time period where you may have been very articulate, really good with sort of making first impressions on people with your words. But Mercury is going to quickly move on May 3rd into your second house of possessions. Now, wherever we have Mercury is where we do a lot of our thinking and communicating. And in the second house of income and your stuff, this could be a time where you're really strategizing around your own income, how you can make more, or maybe how you can handle the things that you already own. Mercury can also represent buying and selling. So in the second house, this could be a good time to maybe sell some of your stuff you don't need anymore, like an old futon on Craigslist or something. And then the other planet I want to talk about is Mars, the planet of action and activity. It's going to be in the sign of Cancer all month, which correlates with your third house. The third house represents our neighborhood, our siblings, people who we live near, our local community. And wherever we have Mars, sometimes we run into some frustrations. So there could be some frustrating circumstances in your neighborhood. Maybe neighbors giving you some hell for how loud you're playing your music, maybe some annoying construction going on. If you do have any siblings, this could be be a time that's a little feisty with them too, because Mars can be a bit of a conflict-prone planet. But the third house also represents writing and communication. Mars is where we put our energy. So this can be a very productive transit if you have to just, really get very driven and get a lot of writing done as well. And Betsy, you've got some things to say about Venus, don't you?
I sure do. Yes. So at the beginning of the month, as well as in much of April, Venus has been in your first house, Taurus. And that would mean that you've been kind of more charismatic than usual and ready to connect with people a little bit more, and really enjoying the beauty of your physical self, your like how you show up and your appearance. But then on May 8th, Venus moves into your second house in Gemini. And this is going to make you want to think more about your stuff. As Julia mentioned, Mercury will be there too. So you might be thinking about how to beautify the things that you have, maybe restoring something to a more useful form. Or you might also be tempted to buy beautiful things. Acquiring your sense of beauty and aesthetics might kind of overshadow your normal stability and caution around resources. And that might be okay. It's always wonderful to enjoy the things that bring us pleasure. So be sure to look for that through the rest of May.
Well, we've got a seasonal shift going on, and you can see it happening in the chart as there's a general migration of planets out of Taurus and into Gemini. And that's really emphasized when the sun leaves Taurus right here and moves over into Gemini, and Gemini season begins. It's the season of flowers, of bees and birds and hummingbirds and butterflies, creatures of the air. It's a season of stimulation and a lot of moving parts. This might be something that you find agitating as Taurus, or it might be something, that you enjoy. And certainly there's going to be a lot of, stimulation and beauty flying around. So embracing the air is what we want to do in Gemini season. So this month we've made you a little something special and different, which is a 2-part video series about how we as astrologers cope with our transits. And in that you'll find out about, which transiting planets we really don't like or do like, and how we handle those things. And you'll find that all 3 of us are in that. So enjoy that. You'll find it in our May 2021 news playlist on our YouTube channel, Pandora Astrology. And you can always find us on the web at pandoraastrology.com, where you will find our horoscopes, the monthly forecast. You can get a reading, and very soon you'll be able to get a reading with Betsy, and you can even take a class. And until next time, we'll see you around the cosmos. Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.